very familiar voice, and the voice was just like, "Oh my God, dude, I love you in Attack the Block." I turn around, and it's Tom Cruise.
Damn.
I'm like, good Lord. It's Tom Cruise. And funny enough, another Nigerian actor was there at the time, Dio. Okay, oh yeah, solved the name later. And Dio died too. Yeah. And so Tom Cruise came out with J.J. Abrams. They were editing Mission Impossible at the time. And Tom Cruise said to J.J. Abrams, he said, "I don't know whether it's now or later, but you need to get this kid in something." And then JJ looked at me like this and he goes, "Yeah, cool." And in the Hollywood game, they do that a lot. They say, "Ooh, we're gonna get you in a movie." They will pepper you to the point where you'd be like, "I have millions in my account." And then you won't hear anything back. So I didn't really take it seriously. I was proud to meet these incredible actors. I had asked them questions, how do I do this? And how do I hustle? What do I need to do to be a better actor? And I got some good answers. I took my meeting, I left. I never heard anything after that for another 6 years. 6 years. After 6 years, one morning I was on the train actually going to pay a light bill. My mom sent me to go and pay the light bill. At the time when the meter runs out, you have to go on the road to go and pay the light bill. That's how it works in the UK. So I'm on the train going through, and then Femi calls my phone. And then Femi goes, "Yeah, mate, are you sitting down, mate?" I go, "Yeah, mate, I'm sitting down, I'm on the train." He goes, "Well, I've got the audition that maybe could change everything, mate, but it's gonna be a hard one. This is gonna be the hardest audition process you've ever gone through." I said, "What's the project? What's the project?" And Femi likes to be dramatic. He paused. And he went, "Star Wars, man." I said, "What? They auditioning Negroes for Star Wars?" I said, "What?" I said, "There ain't no way." I said, is it a leading role, whatever it is?" And Femi, he goes, "You get it, mate. You're number 1 to 3 on the call sheet." I go, all right, let's start the process and start auditioning. And so it kick-started 9 months of auditioning for Star Wars. Over 16 auditions, 4 screen tests, and a whole bunch of stress. It was a very interesting time.
So let's you talk about the stress of Star Wars and how you met J.J. Abrams. Talk to them about when you got Star Wars. After all the 16 auditions, after all the screen tests, what was that call like?
The call was incredible. I mean, there was a moment where I didn't think I was going to get it because, you do some good auditions sometimes, and then sometimes you do some auditions that are just off. And it can happen to any actor. Sometimes it's nerves. You start to go in your own head and doubt your own ability, and it cripples you. And so after that, it looked as if they weren't gonna give me, the offer. And Kathy Kennedy, who's the CEO of Lucasfilm, had been talking to Femi and everybody in the team, and they said, we'll see if Disney wants to see John again. We're gonna put him on hold. And in our industry, that means where you don't know whether you got the role or not, but they hold you there just in case it's gonna come your way. And then something strange started to happen. As I was on hold, I started receiving calls from other people in the industry offering me other roles. I'm in Cassie's house one day, my phone rings, and another American dude that had found me calls my phone. He goes, "Yeah, John, is this Gboyega?" I say, "Yeah, it's Gboyega, mate." He goes, "Yeah, buddy, I'm doing a movie called Justice League. I want you to be Cyborg in this movie. I think this movie is going to be the biggest thing you've ever heard of. I want to make you an offer in 3 days. We need you to fly to Houston in 3 days." And it was Zack Snyder. And I said to Zack Snyder, I said, "Zack, I'm auditioning for Star Wars, bro. Disney are not going to allow me to audition for something else while I'm still on hold. So let us go back to Disney and ask Disney whether they can at least give me some leeway. Maybe we can get both. Maybe we can get one or the other. Or maybe they can just tell me that I haven't got the part, so I can try and secure money somewhere." You see, I told my dad that in 1 year, I will provide finances that will change the world. So for me, my world anyway. And so for me, I need guidance. I need the freedom to be able to do that. You know what they said? They said, "No, you've got 3 days to decide." I call Femi, I'm like, "Femi, call Disney, ask them if they can give us an answer." Femi goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna call them." We get a second phone call. We got another offer for John. This was from another studio. We want him to be the Red Ranger in Power Rangers. We want him to be the leader of Power Rangers. I'm there like, what the? All this stuff is going on, it's crazy. And they gave me 3 days as well. For some weird reason, they were like, we can only secure you in 3 days. Now I'm in a dilemma. If I say to Star Wars, get me out of the process, I'm gonna go for these other roles. I might miss out on the biggest role in a lifetime, because Star Wars is a whole different ballgame. But then again, if I wait for Disney and say no to 2 other roles, then I lose everything. It's like gambling. I had to look up and I said, God, you're a joker. You're a joker. And then Femi said, I need to meet up with you face to face, because this is a hard decision you're gonna make. So we met up at the Dorchester, we sat down, and Femi said to me, he goes, mate, when I found you, what did you tell me that you wanted to do? I said, I wanted to be historical. I wanted to be one of them big ones. He said, you wanted to be one of them ones. He goes, usually people try to humble themselves. They don't want to say what their aspirations are, because it's, you know, it makes people feel some type of way also sometimes. And he goes, this is what you told me. So he goes, by that same rule, we are to say no to these 2 other roles that are lesser than you. And we are to put all our cards into Star Wars, mate. And he goes, look, you've been broke for a long time. At least you know how to do it. You're not going back to something that you don't know, man. You've been doing it for your whole life. And I said, you know what, you're right. But sometimes when the opportunity is there, we like to, we get glitchy and we want to secure ourselves, because we've been suffering, Sha, you know, like we've been going through things. And I said, you know what? I said, Femi, this is one of these God moments where we're supposed to make the alien choice, the choice that people go, come on, it's simple. Just take the role that they're offering you, at least secure yourself. And then I said, you know what, Femi, let's go for Star Wars. Now, as I said that, obviously my heart dropped to my kneecap, because I was like, how do I explain this to Samson? That's my dad, man. How do I call him by his first name when I see him as a business kind of guy. I said, how do I explain this to him? But then we just settled on what we have to go for.
No, that's really interesting. But I want you to share with the actors out there, the young kids out there, the amount of pressure in that kind of decision making. Like, you know, as managers, agents, you know, we try and help talent make those kind of decisions.
Yeah.
But how did you at that time handle that? Like, what was going on internally? What was going on up there? Of course, you had your folks, your friends.
Yeah, it was a combination of things. You get advice from family. You'd get advice from some friends. But you know what? I didn't listen to anybody. I listened to myself and what I believe to be God through the heart. I was like, what do you want me to do? You know? And for me, I was just kind of like, I've always said to myself, ever since I even had my first job at the Tricycle Theatre, that I want to be a movie star. I know for a lot of people, it's corny for a lot of people to say it. But sometimes if you don't say it, what you're secretly thinking in your head is never going to happen. Sometimes when you say it, your body hears you saying it, and you challenge yourself, and you're like, wow, I just said that out loud. And I said, you know what, I want to be a movie star, and I do want to be part of the biggest franchise in history. And I do want to be the first black stormtrooper. I do want to be at the lead and the forefront of this. And so I decided to put all my eggs in Star Wars. And then the other 2 films said, sorry, no can do. Now we're just waiting for Disney. Disney calls, Kathy Kennedy goes, okay, cool. We're gonna audition you one last time. One last time. Come to Pinewood Studios, come and audition. I go to Pinewood Studios, I'm in the chair. You know how it is in the audition. I was just shaking, I was doing the warm-ups, getting myself prepared. I go in the room and it's me and Oscar doing the shooting scene. And we do the scene, JJ loves it. But in my heart, I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm probably not gonna get it, but if it's a loss, then at least I've seen myself try. I've seen myself fight for what I want, and I know I'm serious now. So the next opportunity, if it's not this one, there will be a next one. But I'm in the game now. I'm willing to be broke. I'm willing to suffer for this. And that's what I found in the process, and that was all I was willing to take away. JJ calls my, after the half of the Yellow Sun premiere, we had the half of the Yellow Sun premiere. The day after, JJ Abrams messages my phone, and he goes, I'm in Mayfair. Can you get down to Mayfair and have a meeting with me? I said, sure. By the way, at the time I had £74 and 95 pence. I'll never forget the price. And I was coming from Croydon at the time. I had this young babe. I was my girlfriend at the time. I had to rub my back because I'm stressing. and then the message came through. I said, baby, I have to go. I left her. I went over to JJ Abrams in a restaurant. And when I went to the restaurant, this restaurant is very well known. The whole restaurant was empty. I was just like, it's like 3 p.m. What's going on in this restaurant? I walk over to JJ Abrams. He sits me down and he goes, you know, John, first of all, I want to just thank you for all you've done. I know you've been auditioning for a long time. And you know when people speak to you like that, you're just like, just tell me. He said, God bless you that you decided to feed me before giving me the news. So he goes, John, you know, it's been incredible. And then I use that as an opportunity to pitch myself. I go, okay, JJ, I need to tell you, I can audition again. He goes, John. I go, no, I can audition again. He goes, John, calm down. No, I said, no, if you let me, he goes, John, you're the new star of Star Wars. And at that point, I can't lie. When they say time froze, time genuinely froze up for me. I'm getting emotional thinking.
You can do better than that.
I understand artists, and I understand how unrealistic this job is, and how much you guys are suffering for your own individual part of the pie, and it is hard. So once you get that news, Chioma, once you see that what you've developed is come, and then that release comes off of you, it feels like this. Ugh. You get what you get. But then after that, there was a whole new level now. You've got the part now you need to do the job. And that kickstarted a whole other thing, man. It really did.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew Femi at the time, so I was part of that story. But I always like John to share that story with you young guys out there, because it was a huge life-changing moment. So, of all the characters that you played, which one is your favorite?
Fontaine, they clone Tyrone.
Big shout out to Stephen Long over there.
Let them see you.
Let them see you.
Stevens on the movie, Stephen right here. They clone Tyrone for me was Shakespeare. It was a chance for me to show people. I mean, it was even on the basic level of being an ego boost. I remember when Stephen Love, Charles King had got me involved in the movie, and it was a challenge. You know, they came to me with a very nuanced opportunity and role. I mean, you're reading the script and it says, well, you're gonna play a 28-year-old dude, you're gonna play a 77-year-old dude, you're gonna play multiple different characters in one, and we want you to make all these characters significantly different. And I remember being like, oh, don't give me that, because now I can really fly. And it launched me. It's not just opportunity, but you know, there's certain roles that push your skill set. Where you feel it on set, you're like, whew, I think I'm a good actor. And that was one of those roles that for me was it pushed me. We had such an amazing time in Atlanta as well. We had shot during one of the hardest times in our industry during COVID, which was a hard challenge. But Fontaine was for me, it refreshed me. It made me fall back in love with acting again, like how I was when I was in drama school. And alongside that though, it can never be They Clone Tyrone by itself. You know that, right? Yeah. It's the Woman King. You know, the Woman King, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I experienced true equality. The women were fighting, facing the wall, bleeding all day on set. Me, pampered, in robes, with many, many wives. That was, oh man, I really enjoyed myself. Shout out to Gina Prince Spiderwood and everybody on that. Shauna Lynch, Q7 Bedford, everybody. Yeah, Viola Davis, we had an incredible time.
They say art imitates life, right? So you really enjoyed that.
Yeah, but I can't bring 13 home now. My mom and dad want to agree.
I mean, yeah, the Woman King is a favorite, and it's a favorite here, and everyone loved you in it.
Yeah,
I always thought it was you just went on the road and playing. You really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? How did you get involved in it?
Well, Viola Davis and Gina Prince Spiderwood just wrote me a beautiful letter, and it kind of speaks to what we're trying to do out here. They knew that they had approached other actors of caliber, but the role was small. If you notice that the King came in a few times and the women were at the forefront. So they decided to write a letter to at least beg an actor that, like, please help, like, you know, this role is not what you're used to. The size is not what you're used to, but if you can come in and support these women in a lot of their first big action role, then this would be great because we have a male actor that's validating these black women, especially the dark-skinned black women in our industry. Colorism, we know how that works. And they touched on all of those points. If you know about Viola Davis, she speaks on it heavily, and she spoke about it in the letter. And I just said yes. I said yes. I most definitely would support and come in there and be a part of it. And I said, well, Gina, I haven't read the script. Who am I playing? And she goes, I'm going to read you a line from the script to know who you're playing. She said, you are playing an African king who walks as if he has the burden of the world on his shoulders. I said, oh yeah, yeah. I said, do I get robes? She said, yes, John, you get any robes you want. Great. And so that's how the Woman King started.
That's an awesome story. Before, I'm going to open it up to the audience in a second, but I want us to talk about, we've been coming here since 2018. That was our first trip to Nigeria. But going from the Woman King,
our first
business
trip to Nigeria. My first time in Nigeria was at 9 years old, by the way. Exactly. I was staying in Abeokuta, so that's different.
Abeokuta is nice.
Yes.
But, you know, informing everything we're trying to do in Africa, why is this time important? Why is Nigeria important? And all the stuff we're trying to do here.
Well, I think I've always been curious about Nollywood. I mean, I tried Nollywood when I was younger. At the time, Mike Bamiloye and a few of the more Christianized drama guys came down to London to do a workshop. And that was the only way I knew about what was going on this side of me. I had grown up on the movies because my mum is a Nollywood buff. But I just wanted to get in some way, and I ended up doing a workshop with those guys. And obviously when one thing led to another, I booked Half of the Yellow Sun. And Half the Yellow Sun was exciting for me because, first of all, it was funded heavily from within Nigeria. We were on the soil to shoot. And I was looking around, I was like, we're in Nigeria, we're in Creektown, there's explosions, there's great cameras, everything that we have over across the pond. And that, my curiosity for Nigeria has grown. And I'm kind of like, why can't we do it here? Why can't we do high quality movies with great narratives over on this side of the pond? So getting involved in Half of the Yellow Sun, getting involved in The Woman King only grew my curiosity and my kind of hunger to see Nigeria bring out a movie that the world notices. I kind of want to increase the standard. You know, it's not just about making films that are just cool for us. It's about developing films that the world can praise you for. Movies have a way of, it's one room, the lights are off, and people from different cultures come into one room to watch a movie. And when a moment in a movie happens, all of us from different tribes, different languages, we all react. When the lead woman gets her heart broken, we say, yeah. When the guy dies that we love the most, we cry. You know, when Lashana Lynch died in The Woman King, everybody went, ugh. You know, everybody felt it. And I would tour with films all around the world to see that movies bring people together. And what it does is, it gives you a representation for people who may not be able to come over here, and for people who don't have the insight. So I always thought to myself, just like Afrobeats, where their videos and their concepts are high quality, they're imaginative, why not the movies? And so that kickstarted our journey in coming over here and getting to know the lay of the land before we bring the cameras in.
Yes, there is a plan to bring the cameras in.
A whole lot
of cameras. So we're working very hard behind the scenes, and it's an amazing journey for me. So I'm going to open it up to the audience, and let's hear your questions.
Any questions? Make sure everyone circles the room as well to get everybody.
Okay, there's a question right here.
Hello, John.
What's up, friend?
Hi, my name is Natasha. Hi, everybody. Very quickly, you've talked about so much, but who were your actual inspirations from the Nigerian side? Like, who did you see, or what have you seen out here, growing up or whatever, that really made you feel like, Nollywood, shall we get something?
Genevieve. Genevieve is my favorite actress on this side. alongside Motola, those early days, you know, there was something about her acting ability for me that I thought could transcend any type of filmmaking. Seeing subtle beats, that she works with subtle beats, you know, she doesn't always have to say much. And I think film is a different medium. It's not like theatre where you have a live audience and I need to open it up to you for you to see. Film is intimate. Film is supposed to be the eye that shows moments that other people don't see. And Genevieve always had a way of transcending that kind of skill set. And I've spoken to Genevieve, was starring with her. But yeah, she's been my inspiration from this side of the short question.
Hello, John. Good evening. How do you do? Good evening. My name is David Ogusi, and so I want to ask you this question, and I also want to ask Sean the other one. It's the dream of every actor to actually be able to cross over, you know, do international works. But you have been in like audition for Star 9%. So in this kind of big auditions, big pictures, what is the level of acting prowess required to be in those roles? You face these auditors, what's the level of acting prowess you have to be there? And second question, can you say a little about your process as an actor? Because I'm sure actors want to know that. How do you step into these roles, these big challenging roles? What's your process and what's the prowess required?
I mean, now we're getting into it. I would say for the auditions on the biggest level, you have to come prepared. If you are sitting here today and you think you're a great actor, scrap that. Scrap it. Even till today, I don't call myself, oh, I'm a great actor, or I've learned everything I need to learn. You have to become a student. And what that means is, your script is your Bible. If you don't know the beginning, end, middle, transitions, what other characters are saying, every single thought, if you don't come in with a discipline, then the big studio game is not for you. Because unfortunately, they spend way too much money to sit down and do an audition with you and you're not prepared. Because you thought, let me just read these lines real quick, do it however I want to, and come into the audition room and go through the process. And that's what that leads to your second question. That means that when you break down the script, you have to follow something we call a character arc. Meaning that most of the time, your character won't start the movie the way they end the movie. You are going to go through a transition and a change. And as an actor, it's your responsibility to highlight that change. If your actor is from a different country, a different region, it's your responsibility to learn the accent, and to learn the accent of that region, and to put your dedication to that. If you read in the script that, hold on a second, my character has a bad knee, you should be able to put that into your characterization and your walk. When we were on The Woman King, we had a camera on the track a lot of the times when King Gezo would walk. And I remember telling Gina, I said, Gina, I am a king. I have to walk slow. I have to, every step matters. Every hand gesture, every fold, every look matters. And for me to tune that in, there needs to be a dedication to know your role. The character you're playing is like a man or woman that you're in love with and you just want to get to know them. That's it. You want to get to know who this person is. And when you're trying to get to know somebody you want longevity with, which is your character, you want to know every single nuance of the character. That means exercises like hot seating, which means when you sit in a seat and people ask you random questions about your character and you can answer every single one of them. You have to become obsessed with who you're willing to become. You know what I mean? And that's what you bring into the room. Because in the big studio game, I'll be honest with you, they don't have time for mistakes because they are stressed by their shareholders. Their shareholders are like, we invested $10 million, we want to see $40 million. So they don't have time to sit there and wait for you to learn your lines. You come into audition, you still have scripts in your hand, and you haven't learned them. And there's other people coming in with their lines learned and everything that is smooth. So there needs to be a dedication to that process and that sort of art.
That's great. Question in the middle.
Hello, Ken from Chemistry Management.
Hello.
Hello. I want to ask a question because I just love hearing you talk about the talent side. How much did you actually have to get involved from a business perspective on your early part of your journey, understanding the audition process, representation? When did representation actually start for you and your understanding of it? Because we really lack that here and we need more of it.
I think my true understanding of representation started when Femi wanted to expand our team to the Americans. He wanted some Americans on our team to be able to, get people that know the industry over there. And that just exposed me to a whole different ballgame. Because now I'm hearing, company names like CAA and WME and UTA, and these are all these agencies. If you don't know about this, you should be knowing about it. But these are agencies that have their system and their creative take. So it was really Femi that schooled me in how that operates. It was a transfer of knowledge, which kind of sparks back to what we're doing over here. We have to share what we have found out and know. There's nothing wrong in that. And it's because of that shared knowledge, I was able to know about representation, the difference between an agent and a manager, and then decide what was good for me. Because not everybody's not the same. Some people just managers, some people agents, some people both. So it's through that process with Femi, working alongside him, and then going out to the States and meeting American agents who, thank the Lord, were willing to also share more information. That's how I started to learn about the business side. And to speak to that as well, you want to get into this game, you can't just be an arty farty, which means I just want to be an actor and perform, and I don't want anybody to know, I just want to perform. That's it. You are a business. You are a business, you are a business, you are a business. The audience filling out this room, if we don't have that, we can't make another movie. So there needs to be a process of learning marketing, learning how the presence works with branding, learning about all these extracurricular things that surround your acting career. So that's how I learned about it.
Hello. Okay, hello. So my name is Anna Karabresa, and I live between Ghana and the UK. I'm actually with IDSA. You guys as well. So I wanted to say, so one of the things I've realized is a lot of times that once somebody makes it as an actor to the pinnacle, especially yourself, there's a big difference between being a star or being known in Africa. And then everybody wants to jump out. Like right now, people want to leave. If you make it here, everybody wants to go to the ultimate heights. How do we, yourself, bridge that gap? I know you talk about coming to do a film here. Idris Elba was also recently in Ghana. He mentioned about moving to Ghana, building a studio. How do we bridge that gap to stop our people the minute they kind of make it, like you want to go over there? And also, I think the thing is, also for them to respect our films, because as much as I love Nollywood, as much as I love African film, they do not respect our film and our talent the way we respect us. And how do we bridge that gap essentially? Because I'm really frustrated going between Ghana and UK. And I know when I audition for things in the UK, I'm with IDSA, so sometimes it's like, oh yeah, she's worked in Ghana, she's worked in Nigeria. They look down on us. And I'm trained, and I've done this for like 27 years. And it was a choice for me to move to Ghana, to work in Ghana. And I'm working in Nigeria. We just have a film showing tomorrow, Phoenix Fury. Please come and watch it. Directors here. But how do you bridge that gap? And also, you want to jump out, they look down on you. But how do we uplift ourselves to the highest heights so they can't, look down on us? Because when they come to shoot, they shoot and they go. I'm talking about Main Street. Now, I was in Beast of No Nation, was filmed in Ghana, but that was a New York film, Netflix. So how do we bridge that gap?
But I think that this is what is in motion right now. Like you're existing at the era in which that gap is being bridged. We are right here in front of you in the flesh. Anybody that comes home, especially from the other side of the pond, has true intentions to see this happen. Because you're talking about the greatest greats, but there's also challenges over there. We just got off a strike. And from a strike now, we have a limitation of roles, especially for the black actor out there. And we've seen people like Viola Davis talk about trying to create other lanes, for us to have opportunity. But what we're finding here is we're coming to this side of the planet, but unfortunately, the filmmaking is not at the level it needs to be. I'm gonna repeat that. We are gonna have an honest conversation about this. The filmmaking is not on the level it needs to be. And that means that, don't mention the 15 years, 27 years, 30 years you've been in the business. Don't mention it. Everybody has to be a student and collaborate at this point. Even me in my position, there are things that I can learn from you guys. Because even if we come in with the quality, you guys still have the authenticity that we still need to exist. So we need to collaborate. But to collaborate, I need to get off my Hollywood high horse. And for you to collaborate, you need to get off your Nollywood high horse. You know what I mean? I've done this for 17 years, 27 years. Raise the standard. I want to see a Nigerian franchise that can make $1 billion in the global box office. I don't want to hear about $1 billion naira. I want us to be main players at the mainstream for sure. But you're right, we do need to improve the quality of filmmaking here, which then leads to, of course, we need opportunities like the workshops that you do, the shadowing workshops that provide opportunities for people to learn. Shadowing clauses, we need government. We need government here, we need their backing. Hopefully, you guys have been to multiple events where they've pledged promises and said that they're gonna support. We hope so. But in the meantime, I think the most important thing now is we need to change our mind. That's where everything starts. Change the mind. The standard that you thought, when you think you've arrived too early, you most likely are too early. We need to raise the standard. And the new standard should be, if I enjoy going to see Marvel, Avengers, why not in Nigeria? What if an alien invasion in a franchise movie was to actually happen in real life? They're not going to any Western countries. They're coming to where the resources are, to Africa. Why can't we have those kind of movies here? We saw the way Black Panther went down in the global war. We saw what happened with that, right? How much money they made imitating you, you know? And we had some stars in there. But why can't we do that for ourselves? And I think it means getting off the high horses, and everybody must become a student. I'm not the leader of anything, but with the quality that I have, I am to bring that to the table. With the authenticity and the quality you have, you are to bring that to the table. And directors, I don't know, how many directors and producers do we have out here? You have to open up your mind up to structural change. We need structural change. If you think you've put something together, the sound is off, the storytelling is wayward, you haven't done research for the roles for the dialogue to be authentic, you know, you have people in professional positions in the movies and you haven't done the extracurricular research outside of the role to see how the character would talk, walk, trust me, you're not there yet. And it's important for someone to tell you at this level that you're not there yet. Because how else are you going to reach your highest height and potential? If you've always been told that, oh, this movie was great, everything was solid, then there's nowhere to grow. And if you always get offended when people tell you that, you know what, you need to grow, this is not for you. I think we all have to humble ourselves, and we have to truly get to the point where we're like, you know what, they don't respect us. You know, they don't. But how can we join together? You have something to offer just as much as me, I'm no different. But how can we join together at the first instance to create change? I think it starts in the mind first. We all have to humble ourselves. All the 17 years you did, well done. You have another 17, you know, and let's kickstart the process from there.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Can't take any more questions. Right now, I want to invite the lady of the moment, Miss Chioma. Thank you.
This award. So today, we're going to present him with the Herbert Speedway Trailblazer Award. And this fireside chat was especially enlightening, and then giving him the award to make it also deserving. And I know him, but and you might know him, but a lot of people didn't know the process. So I'm very happy this happened this way. So I'm going to invite Herbert's only brother, Emeka Wigwe. I'll tell you a little about this award that I didn't mention. I didn't have the opportunity to mention last night because I was so overwhelmed. Herbert always knows people like him. Anybody that knows Herbert knows the trailblazers. What are you doing? How are you doing it? And so
So this means so much to him. And then the fact that this, but the fact that this came from one of the minds in Bauchi is also something that I know would have been interesting. So the whole process of having Ifani, who's extremely arty, go get these stones. Him and some other lady, I'm so sorry I don't have her name. Wow. Maina. To get these presented to John. Go to the team and then
So, as a trailblazer, I won't. So consider this first time.
It's my first award in Africa. Winning Oscar, thank you. And I just want to take a moment to encourage all of you. I want to take a moment to encourage you. And I want to share this with you. It's not just mine, this is ours. As we plot and plan to shape this world through art, through cinema, I'm praying that your specific path and what you guys are going through, any obstacle, I'm praying that you will be built, a self-built motivation to pull you through. I'm praying that that happens for you. I'm praying also that your success will reach the highest heights, and your humility will take you through. So let's do it.
Maybe on my head. 100. Very nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Go this thing, Jerry. Office. Moody go office. 6 on now. Eh? He didn't record.